Welcome to Forge the Self. Life is a test. The world spins out of control, but the Stoics knew the truth. We only truly command ourselves. Here, we don't chase perfection. We pursue progress, quietly and relentlessly. We choose challenge over comfort, growth over ego, action over excuses. Because self-improvement isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were meant to be. This is your daily reminder to learn, to reflect, and to rise stronger than yesterday. Let's begin.
Johnny Dumbbell, we in the building. What's good, fam?
Oh, not too bad, man. In the last week, I've learned how to not overdo it and make my shoulder injury even worse. And tonight, I learned how to make sure that I live stream on the first try on my YouTube station. So if you're watching on my YouTube channel, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Love you. Leave some comments. Leave some dad jokes for all I care. But make sure you're tuning in every week.
That's what's up.
No, really, I need new dad jokes.
Ninja Johnny. Hey, you know, myself this week, I have learned some new yoga poses. I have been working on pigeon pose and cobra pose, especially doing cobra pose in the morning, open up my heart chakra.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about chakras, but I got to tell you, I think yoga is a great thing to be able to do. It's good for not only your ligaments, your muscles, but it's great for your joints. A lot of folks, as they get older, they're able to do more things for longer periods of time, Bill. And, a lot of the time, it's not because of how many push-ups or pull-ups they can do like we can when we're young. It's because they do yoga. It's because they are always prepared for movement. And that's what exactly that particular type of exercise is great for.
Absolutely. I'm all about exercise and fitness, Johnny. I eat.
Yep.
My diet is very disciplined. My exercise is very disciplined. I really believe that if we're going to help men out here, we need to set examples by our actions, that our hearts, our thoughts, our words, our actions must all be in alignment. And when that happens, we're the most honest versions of ourselves we can be. So that's something I strive for every day. And I'm becoming more and more addicted to self-improvement, Johnny, just everything in all aspects, not just physically, not just mentally, but spiritually too. So I'm going hard on me. You know, I'm my biggest advocate. I take that me pill every single day. I just love me, and I want to be the best me that I can be.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to be able to fix your own life, you've got to be your own doctor. If you go to the doctor's office and say to him, something hurts and it's not the problem, he can't fix the problem if you don't tell him what the problem is. Well, here's the thing. Like we always preach to you guys, you are the only one who's going to take the first steps, if not all the steps, to fixing your own life. And in order to do that, you're going to have to be honest with yourself with what's wrong, what needs fixed, what needs improved. The answer to that question is whatever can be measured.
Well, Johnny, that's one of the things that we struggle with. These men that we want to help were never taught how to take accountability, so it feels wrong for them to do it at first. Well, to take the first steps towards accountability, because they have to look themselves in the mirror and admit that they are the problem. and they need to fix whatever their problem is. It's different for everybody. Sometimes it's behaviors. Some guys, have a problem tricking.
Yeah, we're exactly. Yep. Yep. Exactly.
So it's just whatever your problem is, you need to work on that, and that's what we're here for. We want to see each and every one of you guys be the best version of yourself possible. So we're here to help. That's why we put in the time and the effort to answer your questions. And I got to be honest, this has turned into one of my favorite shows, because the other show we break down Bumble dating profiles, hey, which I love, man. I really enjoy the ladies, but I feel like the reason that we are here, Johnny, our purpose for the entire podcast is to help men. And this show on Mondays focuses more on that. So it's just become my favorite thing to do, man. Shout out to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's,
before we get started, before we get rocking tonight, Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, like Billy said, for those of you who haven't really seen us before, or just need a reminder, I'm Johnny Dumbbell. I'm a personal trainer and life coach out here in beautiful Pittsburgh, PA, where the weather has finally stopped crapping on us. We had a nice sunny day today, so I am wearing my tropical shirt because for once it was over 75 degrees, for the love of God. Anyway, I'm here to share my success and mostly my failures, because that's what I learned the most from, to young men, not just young men, but all men out there, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did when it comes to self-respect, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-improvement, women, relationships, personal growth. And by that, I mean physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And by the way, if you're contemplating doing something and it seems stupid, reckless, or foolishly expensive, leave it in the comments. Shoot one of us at DMs before you go through with doing it, because Billy and I have probably done it or something similar and found out the hard way why you might want to not do this thing that you're already doubting in the back of your mind. So like I say, we are the screw-up uncles that you never wanted, but you can learn a lot from.
Well said, John. For those of you watching, my name is William. Let me welcome you to my channel. It's called William the Conqueror, where I can show you how to conquer the hearts and minds of women the world over, but only if you first have the ability to conquer yourself. Now, Johnny, that was one of the biggest problems I had in life, was getting out of my own way and learning how to conquer myself. And once I have done that, I got to tell you, I have learned to work miracles. So we're not here to talk about me tonight. I could do a whole show on that, just how much I love me, how grateful I am for me, how much I appreciate me. But
that's our Thursday show, folks.
We're here tonight because men have questions and they write Uncle Johnny with them, and we're here to answer them.
We got a couple of good ones tonight. Let's see. The first one, very simple. Says, oh, I just lost my place. Oh, here we go. Okay. Now, I've heard a lot of this, and one of the things that I think really is the most upsetting about it is that everybody thinks that there's a balance to find, but I'm going to give you the secret code once we get through this. But this is Randy, and Randy says, I don't understand how to communicate with women that I'm trying to date online. If you send too many messages, they think you sound desperate. If you don't send enough, they think you're not putting in enough effort. I've heard this a million times. I met this woman who's a little bit younger than me. She responds once or twice a day at most. Sometimes I have to send a follow-up message to get her attention.
What?
My button was on a delay, but that's kind of my feeling about that. But when she does respond, we'll chat for a few minutes before she disappears without saying anything. Now, Bill, I know. Folks, you see him drooling, right? He's drooling right now. He's going to eat this poor guy up.
No, I'm not, Johnny. I told you, I've been on a journey where I've been killing my ego, and I'm going to give this man advice.
Well, let me get through the rest of this.
Go ahead.
If we haven't infuriated you yet, we're going to get through this one. But anyway, sometimes I send a follow-up message just to get her attention. And when she does respond, talk. So what would you do with a match like that? Would you just send one message and wait, or follow up if she doesn't reply? Or maybe she's just not that interested. We've chatted for a few days now. I was thinking I should just move on. Um, we have a lot of common similarities and interests, hence, I want to try my best to pursue without sounding desperate. I believe a man can always put slightly more effort compared to a woman, but not sure if that's a good idea. I'm not sure what he means by that part. Um, so let's start at the start.
Okay, I'll tell you the why. You want to know the why? He's boring. He can't keep her engaged in conversation. She's not interested in the things he has to say. She's feeling obligated to reply.
Well, I wouldn't even go that far. I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's because it's boring. Maybe he is, and he probably is in a lot of ways. But the simple fact is that this is a girl who's clearly not feeling that compatibility with him. And he's sensing it too. He's already said it. He said it himself. He's sensing it, but he wants so much for that not to be true. He wants us to talk him out of moving on and saying, "Hey, there's a way, and here it is." And Randy, I ain't got it, man.
No,
I don't have it.
into moving on. That's exactly what he needs to do because he's wasting his time with a woman who's not showing him a high level of interest. Now, Johnny, we say
And not to say that she's a poor character. She probably is. She's probably not.
Okay,
It's just look, she's not interested.
Johnny, I see this all the time. She might have been interested at first, and the way he communicates with her took her from like a medium interest to a low interest to no interest, which we know that there's no coming back from.
No.
Now, I would first ask him, how many audio messages are you sending this woman? How many video messages are you sending her? Or are you just doing that boring back and forth texting like a tennis match with her? I guarantee that's what you're doing. And she's losing interest. You know why? Because the things on TikTok are more exciting to her than your messages. So first thing you need to do is learn how to message women. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. I'm going to get straight to the point because I want to set up a date. And that's because I had a mentor when I was younger named Johnny Dumbbell, and he taught me how to get right to the point. So, third or fourth message, I'm offering a date. If she doesn't accept the date, blessings on your journey. Best of luck in your endeavors. If she does accept the date, I need to have the date already planned. I need to know where I want her to meet me at, what time I want her to meet me there. And I promise you, if the woman is into you, she is going to show up where and when you ask her to. She is not going to be late. Well, if you do it right, she'll be looking forward to it and counting down the days to it. If you do it wrong, she's probably gonna, what is that when they don't show up? What do they call that?
They call that ghosting.
It's never happened to me, so I don't know. They call it ghosting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's happened to most guys. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it. It's not fun. But the thing of it is, you got to remember that this is a situation where you're going to have to do a little bit better job of building that value when you're speaking, if you're going to speak at all. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is you have to send a follow-up message to get her attention. Because, Randy, you got a point, man. People only check their phones every 30 seconds, 24 hours a day. So, I mean, the thing of it is that, this is not a thing where, oh, maybe she didn't hear her phone. Maybe I can just go ahead and make her phone make a noise again. Look, man, the sad truth of it is this is not a girl. I mean, I know she's probably hot. I know she's probably what you're looking for.
That's exactly.
But I can also promise you that you're not what she's looking for. And it might be because of something you need to improve, or it just might be a fact of incompatibility. But no response is a response. And even though you're getting 1 or 2 responses a day, remember, that doesn't mean she likes you once or twice a day. That means she hasn't liked you in days. And this is something to probably move on with. And you may revisit it later. She may text you out of the blue. Hey, great, whatever. But the thing of it is that don't do the creepy nice guy thing and keep going. Oh, hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we don't text 2 in a row. We just don't.
We don't double text. Sometimes women are busy. You're right, Johnny. Everybody has their phone constantly, but sometimes women are driving. Sometimes they're busy getting ready. Sometimes they're talking to their friends or texting their friends.
Mhm.
And when you just come into their life, if you don't go about it the right way, you don't hold more value than that friendship does. So you're going to get left waiting in the wind till they have time to respond. Now, it's when they start to make you a priority, that's when you can start to gauge her level of interest. Now,
Right.
this guy, I'm telling you, stop beating around the bush, offer a date, and you'll find out if she has any interest in you or not that way. You got to
And
get
see,
right
this
to
is
the
another
point.
reason how that's another way how guys friend zone themselves, because you're so afraid to just make the offer. You're so afraid to just ask for the date. And this is the same reason why. And I know I make this comparison all the time, but this is why guys who try sales are not successful, and they try something else because you don't have the. You're so afraid of the answer you don't want to get that you don't even ask the question. And at that point, what do you expect? Success? At best, you might break even. And that's why in this situation, I feel like this guy just doesn't want to know the answer to something that he probably already knows the answer to. He doesn't want to hear her say it.
Johnny, he hasn't led her at all.
No.
There is not one thing in that message that made me think that he was taking the lead or anything. I don't even want to say, shout out to Mr. 1950, dictate terms, because he's not even to the point where he can dictate terms.
Right.
So this guy, look, and I think you hit the nail right on the head. She's probably very physically attractive to him, so he wants to make it work. He
Yep.
doesn't realize that level of attention is possible from women, but only if they're attracted to you. And she is not. So
No.
move on, buddy.
No.
Like,
And,
really,
and, and, and here's the thing. And Randy, if you're watching this, do not equate that to whether or not you yourself are attractive. If you don't think you're attractive, you wouldn't be putting yourself out there in the first place. And if you don't think you're attractive, don't put yourself out there until you've improved the product. Believe me, in my business, you got to look the part or no one's coming your way. I'm lucky I got in shape when I did. I'm in my mid 40s still playing catch up. That's how I wasted my 20s. Do not do the same.
Randy, does it say how old he is in there? Johnny, I know sometimes you get ages.
He doesn't actually. I've got to assume early 20s, though.
Okay. So
I hope.
if he's trying to make this work with this one woman, I would be willing to bet that the stars and the moons and the planet aligned when he met her. He probably doesn't have, I'm not getting the confidence that it takes to go up to women and get shot down. Johnny, I only approached 3 women this week, and I got shot down 2 of the 3 times. But dog, the one I bit on the neck and drug up the tree, let me tell you. Yeah. So, it's you.
You guys all get to have that mental image too, by the way.
Nothing wrong with getting shot down, guys. She's allowed to have a boyfriend. She's allowed to not be interested in you. And it helps you out in ways that you have yet to discover, because you're going to get a thicker skin the more times you go through it. The more women who aren't interested in you'll be able to brush it off easier, faster. As soon as you turn around and walk away, you'll forget about it already. So I know some of you guys are embarrassed to do that. Some of you are intimidated to do that. But I encourage you to go talk to several women, just not women that are at their job and not women who are at the gym. Let me make that clear.
Yep.
So your daily
life. Don't make a TikTok video of yourself without realizing
your daily life. Gentlemen, I'm finding a lot of success going to like the organic food section at some of my local supermarkets. You know, I like to eat healthy. I like to eat clean. So I want women that know how to cook healthy and cook, prepare food a certain way. So that's what's been working for me. But I'm meeting women in my daily life when I have to go out and do things, just not the women who are at their job because they're being paid to be nice to you. Waitress doesn't want to give you her number, guy. That's
Yeah.
why she gave you the IG, because she still wanted a tip. She didn't want to make it weird, and she's never going to answer your DMs. So you guys, I really don't think you guys should be asking women for their numbers at all. I think it puts you on a weak ground where they can tell you no. I mean,
And yes, we did it in the 90s, but it was a different time with a different approach to life.
it really was. But
Those were the days.
But what I find what works best for me, gentlemen, is offering women my phone number. And I like to ask them if they got anybody in their life that would have a problem if I gave them my phone number. Now, I had 2 women this week say yes. I had one say no, she didn't have anybody in her life. So I'm counting this a good week, dog. And Johnny, I think what I'm going to do is, we always talk about protecting women's privacy, and that's why I don't post a lot of the stuff I do on Bumble. But my homie, the young homie, shout out to him, told me I could keep my phone and like pointed on me. So I'm respecting their privacy and that boundary, but I could still edit clips of me like approaching women and getting shot down and being successful and put this together for these young men to show them this is what I do in real life, because as men, we're supposed to lead by example. So that's what I'm going to work on this summer. I'm going to start working on how many women I approached this week, how many shot me down, how many, took the phone number. So for the first week, I got shot down twice. I had 1 success.
And I mean, for those of you, that's 1 for 3. That's a 333 average. Remember, we said even the great ones only close about 12%. We're talking over longer periods of time. But, hey, get out there. The point is, we're being funny, but get out there and make conversations. Don't be afraid to do that. The more times you hear no, or the more times you feel that rejection, the less it's going to sting, and the more that you can actually be a little bit more yourself. You could be a little bit more realistic towards your own personality. You can be a little bit more with your personality. You can be a little bit more relaxed when you talk to people, because who cares if it ends up not getting you the phone number? There's so many other people to talk to. There's so many other ladies out there that you can be, doing the same, The point is that the more you get out there and the more you put yourself out there, and I mean verbally, I mean personally, be less afraid to speak. And I'm telling you, your personality will start to flow. You're going to actually be able to bring that part of you from inside the shell out. And when you do, it's going to be a great feeling. You'll be surprised at the strides you'll make in every aspect of life from that point on.
Well, Johnny, I don't think these men out here should settle. Okay. Like a lot of times they think, oh, she's not going to like me because fill in the blank. They see an attractive woman and they don't want to go up to her. They immediately start making up scenarios in their head why she's not going to like them, why they're not her type. And that is the absolute wrong thing to do. You're basically settling. You're lowering your standards. And as men, we're supposed to have standards that are created upon our principles that are not compromisable. So if you're out here compromising your standards, especially, to get a woman in bed, I have a hard time respecting you. So don't settle. Don't compromise your standards. Go talk to that really attractive woman. Go talk to her. You don't know what she's got going on in her life. She could be lonely. She could have tons of anxiety and not have a lot of social interactions. So I encourage you guys to go talk to women. That's my advice for Randy here, is to go talk to women, to get rid of the one that's not interested in him, because the more women he talks to, he's going to come across ones that have that high level of interest, ones that can't wait to spend their time with him. So, and until he gets rid of that one who can't text him back, he is not going to do what it takes to go forward and go out there and get them, because he's still going to be holding on thinking maybe what if.
Yeah. So and in the meantime, I would say continue working on yourself. Make sure you're hitting that gym 3 times a week for 4 weeks. I'm going to keep issuing this challenge until I get a comment from one of you guys about how it affected you. 3 days a week for 4 weeks if you're not doing anything already. After those 4 weeks, I want you to go 4 times a week for 4 weeks. And then I would love to see, I want to see comments after week 1, week 4, week 6. I don't care. I would love to see how that works out for you guys. If you're not sure what workouts to do, shoot me a DM. I'll be glad to send you a couple of workouts.
I do. I ask Johnny about workouts all the time, gentlemen. Johnny used to give me the best at-home tips. I was doing the Johnny Dumbbell 6-minute core workout for like 3 months in a row was my core workout. It's summer. I have more time. I'm at the gym. I'm not working out as much at home. But you guys better believe if I got questions about anything, I'm asking Johnny. You guys should too. That's what we're here for.
Speaking of which, I do have an actual core circuit that I'd be willing to introduce to you folks if you'd like to see it. I call it a pain in the abs, and it takes about 5.5 minutes, and I think you guys will love it. I can't believe nobody thought of that title before either. I looked it up.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should go live in the gym and do gym challenges.
I hesitate to break a camera in the gym, man. That's kind of been a taboo of late.
Well, I just love me some.
But that would be awesome.
I'm only filming me, and especially if I'm live streaming and you want to interrupt me about my camera, please do. It'll be content for the entire world. No, I'm not trying to be confrontational. I'm working on putting nothing but positive energy out into the universe. Johnny, I don't even like speaking negative words or being around negative people.
No, and that's the other thing too, is, I mean, you know, I think a lot of the folks that have that kind of defeatist attitude when it comes to approaching things like this, I think that speaks a lot to the kinds of people that they probably had in their lives. You know, it sounds like, you know, you had people doubting you, you had people telling you whatever it happened to be, you know. It does kind of play to a person's psyche and self-confidence as they get older. So I think that might be in the mix as well. But yeah, as far as Randy goes, I think he just kind of needs to understand that not only do you bottom line her actions, and I know I preach that a lot, but remember, you also have to bottom line her inaction as well. Because here's the thing, when a girl's interested in you, if she has that biological attraction to you, if she feels drawn to you, she's going to find a way to send you that text. She's going to find a way to make that phone call. And if her phone is broken, she'll send you a flipping smoke signal. The point of the matter is that she will make sure you know that she's thinking of you and would like to get in touch with you and talk. Okay? She will ride her little brother's bicycle to your house to knock on your door to say, hey, my phone's broken, but I'm interested. All right, I'm being a wise ass here. But what I'm saying is that if she's really interested, she's not going to be avoidant.
100% correct, Johnny. They will tie a note to a dove and send it to you.
Or your car's windshield wiper, which I got to tell you is a little creepy in certain contexts.
Yeah. Well, what else we got tonight? Because, I mean, look,
I was kidding about that.
Randy, you have a lot of other issues. This woman not responding is not your only issue. And if you worked on some of your issues, the why she's not responding wouldn't matter to you. All you would care about is that she's not following your lead. She's not trying to be on your program. So you're not wasting your time. That's it.
I'm telling you, Randy, 3x4 and then 4x4. Get to the gym. Let's go. All right. So this is I hesitated to do this one because I don't usually talk about deep relationship stuff like this. But I thought that because the answer to this, in my opinion, is so simple and basic that this really does need to be said. Anyway, and we got ages on him and her. He's 27, she's 32. He was cheated on by his girlfriend. Okay. He says, just when I thought I could read them without it. I found out my girlfriend was cheating, and I know that what I did was wrong, but I had a gut feeling something was up. So I went through her phone and found out she had cheated and was still texting an old boyfriend that she misses him a week before I moved in. Bill, hold on. We only have like 3 sentences to go. I know. This is killing me too. We got to get through it. When I try to pack my stuff and leave, she panics and bawls her eyes out. I want to stay with her, but I don't know if I could ever rebuild that trust with her. I know if I could ever rebuild that trust with her, even though she says she'll never do it again. When I'm with her, everything is fine and I feel happy again. But as soon as I'm alone, I get angry and depressed again. Bill, I'm going to read that sentence over again. When I'm with her, everything is fine and I feel happy again. But as soon as I'm alone, I get angry and depressed again. I love her so much, but I'm scared she'll do it again. So my question is, if you guys were in my situation, would you leave even if you really wanted to stay? Bill, sick 'em.
Why do you hate yourself?
Yeah.
Like, really, dog? I think you need to
Yeah,
have some
man.
private conversations with Johnny about why you hate yourself. Because I can tell you that being alone is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself, is that isolation. And shout out to Kevin Gates. Isolation equals elevation. So when you isolate, you get in tune with the real you. A lot of the stuff that's not you falls off. You're really worried about this woman. So, and she says she's never going to do that again. I think you need to make absolute certain of that and leave her and never give her the opportunity to do it again, because she's already showed you what kind of person she is. You should be in full fallback mode. Okay, dog, you should be running for cover. You should have forgot her name. Thanos snapped her out of existence when she started disrespecting you like that. Now, I also think that going through her phone says more about you than her. The insecurity of you going through her phone. If you suspect it, you should probably, it's probably already too late, really, if you're getting that kind of energy from her.
Yep.
So you don't know how to read the room. If she didn't respect you enough to not do it the first time, she's not going to respect you enough to not do it again. And I could tell you right now, you didn't spend enough time vetting this woman. You let her into your life way too soon. Probably within a month or two, she was your girlfriend. Now, I believe you need to vet women for 12 to 18 months. Johnny thinks he's got it down to about 6 to 9 months, but
No, that's expert level, by the way.
I don't think there is no getting it down. I think the vetting process is the vetting process, and 12 months means 12 months. But, and look, I know you guys think that's excessive. And what women will stick around for 12 months without you making them your girlfriend? Gentlemen, all of them will when you give them a reason to. Every single one of them.
Or several. Yep.
Several. Another thing, Johnny. So put them through the ringer, put them to the test, because they can pretend to be somebody. They can hold up a mask, but they cannot hold it up indefinitely. And after time, they're going to show their true selves.
And by the way, don't think for a second they're not going to test you every chance they think they've got.
They do. And that's something Johnny talks about, is how they do it subconsciously. They don't even know if they're aware that they're doing it, but they do test you.
I mean, they're wired that way. It's not because they're being devious. It's not because they're trying to trick you or anything like that. It's nothing like that at all. It's a biological instinct. It's just something that they do to see whether or not you are the strong, compatible, genetically superior thing she wants to mate with, or just a friend.
All right, now let me give him another piece of advice nobody's going to like to listen to. If you really love this woman that much, you should just open up your relationship and let her smash other dudes. No,
now see,
just become a cuck.
Nothing like shock therapy, right?
Other guys have their way with her, because you don't have what it takes to stand on business and tell this woman that she's not going to treat you this way. You don't love yourself enough to walk away from a toxic situation. Okay, that self-love that you have for yourself should prevent you from being treated like this. But you're pretty much asking us, what do you have to do to stay with her? Because you don't want to leave her. So you have drank the Kool-Aid so much, jump in the deep end, my friend. Open up the relationship. That way she's not cheating on you anymore, and let her do her thing if you don't mind her doing that. And nobody's doing anything they're not supposed to.
Bill just bit your head off, man. But I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what it kind of comes down to, because you're sitting there trying like hell to forgive a woman who doesn't want to be forgiven by you for doing something that, let's face it, if she didn't want to do, she wouldn't have done it. And that's the bottom line. Bottom line, her actions. Oh, she cried. She bawled her eyes out. Oh, well, shit. Why didn't you say so, man? Listen, if she cried, then, well, what are you going to do? I mean, hey, you got to believe her, right? No, dude. The problem is that your situation, I mean, I had my answer ready for you by the end of the first sentence. You had a gut feeling something was up, so you went through the phone. Now, here's the thing. When you have a gut feeling that something is up, that's kind of the situation where you have to start asking yourself questions. And when you decided what you think is, the issue, you need to start asking her those questions or dipping out altogether. But the thing of it is that you didn't do that. You sat there and you let it eat at you. You sat there and let it bother you. You sat there and paced the floor like I used to. You sat there and you agonized over what might be, but the answers that the answers to questions you didn't want to ask because you didn't want the answers.
Well,
you finally couldn't handle it any longer. And instead of asking her, just in case you were wrong, because you didn't want to ask her and turn out to be the fool, because let's face it, we see that in pop culture all the time. We see that, in the mass media all the time. So rather than risk looking foolish by asking and being wrong, you decided to go through the phone without her realizing it. And look, I don't even care nearly as much about the fact that you did it behind her back as I do about the fact that you didn't stand on business. You didn't ask her to honor the very commitment she made to you, which you made to her when you both decided to be in a committed relationship in the first place. And you didn't read the body language. You didn't bottom line her actions. You didn't bottom line her treatment of you. Because I guarantee you that even if she was cheating and you never ever found out about it, the way she probably would have treated you while it was going on should have been enough to make you walk away. The fact of the matter is that I don't care what your gut feeling is. If there is a part of you that makes you even think she doesn't love or respect you, it's time for either a conversation or a departure.
Well said, Johnny. Well,
Come on, man.
I want you to consider this too, though. Him not being direct. Hey, we're used to being direct with women, but he's going through her phone without her knowledge. So there's got to be something about her actions that makes me believe that he thinks he couldn't get the truth from her.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, the minute you already feel like, and here's the thing, if you're already feeling like she's being deceptive, I would say the relationship's over, because if you're right, well, she's being deceptive. And if you're wrong, then you're overly paranoid and you are not going to be able to function in a relationship until you resolve whatever issue you are currently having. Oh, and unfortunately, I can coach you and get you in shape, and I can teach you behaviors that'll improve your life. I'm not a clinical psychologist. You're going to need to talk to somebody to get you through that.
Well, Johnny, I don't think he's going to do it. That's why I think he needs to go with the other option, to just open up the relationship and let other guys have their way with your sweetheart.
Yeah, man, listen to the song by The Offspring called Self-Esteem, and if that sounds like you, it's time to bounce, bro. Listen, I'm going to throw some 90s wisdom at you from 30 years ago, believe it or not, 30 years ago, Bill. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, look, you can't sacrifice dignity for love. Because if you sacrifice dignity, it only follows that she sacrifices her respect for you. And there's never going to be a positive thing that's going to come out of a relationship in which only one person respects the other at most.
Well, he should be respecting himself first. And the minute that she cheated, he should have packed everything and left. And you know what? Yeah, she probably is crying because there's probably a benefit for her of him being in her life. I would need to know more about the situation to give him some more solid advice. But right now, I would give him an advisement that you need to leave now. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's got what it takes to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope we're wrong. And the thing of it is that I think eventually there's going to be a breaking point where either he is going to decide he's had enough, or she is going to make that decision for him, leaving him in shambles and wondering what went wrong and how he can do it in the future. But the good news is, hey, he reached out. He reached out. He had the question. I doubt that he's watching live, but I'm sure he'll see this later. At least I hope he will. He's been notified that his question will be on the show, so hopefully we get a comment or something like that. If not, man, you can always DM me again. But we have a lot to work on together when it comes to your self-respect and self-confidence, man. We got a lot to work on. It's gonna have to come from the ground up.
So yeah, until you're ready to start loving yourself, I don't think there's nothing we can really do here. I mean, look, I don't care how long I was with a woman. If I found out that she cheated on me, I'm gone. Gone. I don't care if it's 2 years, 8 years. Now, that being said, while I'm in the vetting process with a woman, we're not necessarily in a committed relationship. In fact, I have a few different women that I have vetted over the course of the last few months, and they have to watch me do the Bumble show and all that other stuff without complaints. Because if they start complaining, I get rid of them. They're gone. They're not around to complain anymore.
Gone.
So I would never tell you guys to do something that I am not doing myself.
Yep.
Now, John, do we got one more question for us tonight?
We do. This one comes from Billy the Conquistador. He says, thought I'd share this because you'd never hear about it, but holy crap, if this isn't cheating, then I don't know what is. Being invited to parties where the ratio is 8-2, random girls coming up to us to hang out, or the random, hey, my friend wants to meet you text. It almost feels effortless. Three-ways, left and right. Has anyone else had this similar situation? Bill, I told you, stop sending DMs and asking questions. No, we don't all have that success.
No, I do.
God. All right, anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, I had to mess with you on that one. All right, next question. I've been waiting a couple of weeks to do that, and I kept forgetting to do it, and I thought that was funny. All right, so this one's from, and I know this is not his name, but this one's coming from Gustavo. Bill, we love you, man. Yeah, I've been waiting a while to do that. All right, so he even has a headline for this one, and I don't love it, but I love it. And he has in quotes, of course I didn't tell you, you would have freaked out. When I saw that, I said, dude, I'm at least reading this, and it's probably going to make it onto the show. And he says that is such a manipulative statement. It is. It absolutely is. Here's the thing. I wouldn't even consider that a manipulative statement because it pretty much tells on herself. So it's not manipulative. It's informative. Yeah, I didn't tell you because you would have freaked out. That's why I lied, is what she's saying. But anyway, so what he says is, and I don't have an age on him, but some time ago, I was dating this girl for a bit, and she was friends with my cousin. Now, I did ask her how she knew my cousin, and they said they were just friends. What she actively omitted was that they had slept together, something I found out from my cousin. So naturally, I asked her why she never told me. She told me because it wasn't a big deal. I knew you would have freaked out over nothing. That made me angry. Like, seriously. You're okay lying to me by omission about something you know would matter to me on the basis that it matters to me and I would have done something about it. Even if I was okay with it, she is somehow making it my fault that she lied to me. Obviously, I broke things off. All right. Did I make the right decision, though? I mean, well, by breaking it off, no. I would say you made a great decision.
Johnny, asking that question is the fail. Okay. Because
I feel like he's pretty young. He didn't say, but I feel like he's pretty young. I feel like he's like 21, 22, maybe.
He made the right decision.
Yep.
Questioning the decision is the fail. So
well, yeah. And, but I mean, the thing of it is he has guys to ask and we didn't. And he reached out, which most kids nowadays, when you reach out a hand, they don't see it. They don't grab it. He did. I got to give him credit for that.
Well, Yeah, absolutely. That means he's probably subscribed to your channel and he's been watching us. You know, the fact that he's willing to put his own self-respect first.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, they get too emotionally attached to these women, and then the women lose respect for them, but the guys don't lose that emotional attachment. So now the women gain the upper hand in the relationship,
Yep.
and they're the ones who start dictating terms. So the fact that he left over it. Now look, should she have told him? Probably. Especially if she'd been getting to know him for a while and she knew how close he was with his family. My cousins are like my brothers, dog. They would tell me that.
Yeah.
So she should have known my cousins would tell me that. And she should have told me first so I didn't have to hear it from my cousin. And then if my cousin came to me about it, I would have started dogging him on it. Well, yeah, she told me, you couldn't smash her right. So, she's looking for
Yeah.
someone who can. There would have been
Yeah.
some rivalry with it, but she probably should have came to him and told him about it. I don't like that excuse she gave him because you get mad.
I put a little responsibility on the cousin, yeah, but I mean, I think that that's something that really both of them should have made sure that he realized that if he was going to go ahead and try to pursue this relationship. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. In my personal life, I give women full disclosure. They know everything I got going on. Now they can make the active decision to be part of my life or not. So we're not deceiving women. We're not lying to them. Now, women are governed by a different set of bylaws, I guess you could say, Johnny. They don't.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, but the thing of it is, we can't worry about that. We can't have that be on our mind all the time. The thing that we have to remember is that we have to know how to conduct ourselves knowing that. Because here's the thing. We are not going to be able to control the other side of this so-called war there is. I mean, obviously, it's not really a war, but we're not going to be able to control the side that, does the manipulating. We're not going to be able to control the side that, does the things that make you have to write in and ask questions to your uncles who have great answers because we screwed this up before. Um, the thing of it is that these issues exist because there is that notion that we have to be able to find that particular part,
Well, he left her. That's a good thing. Did it say how long they were together? That wasn't too long.
Not.
No, that's okay. It's not important.
No. I mean, the thing of it is that I think that the minute you feel like you're having that boundary, breached, you got to get out of that. And I think dishonesty, I think even by omission in this regard, especially something that close to home, that the fact that she was willing to hide that and let things continue, knowing that, I think speaks a lot to the type of person she is and the type of person that he might want to go ahead and make a mental note of on how to avoid. Because even though the personality might not be the same with the next girl, the behaviors and the reactions, responses, especially of someone as extreme as this one seems to be, are usually pretty. God, I can't talk. Pretty much the same. God.
Oh man, that's kind of funny though. At any rate, that's all we got tonight, isn't it, Johnny?
That is. Thanks for writing in, guys. Listen, hey, keep those DMs coming. If I don't, I know there's a couple of you that I didn't put your question on here yet. I do plan on it. JD, you're one of them. The other one, I can't remember who sent it, but we're going to be able to get those up in probably the next week, maybe two. But I didn't forget about you. I will get to those. And but thank you guys for writing in, because that gives us something to talk about. It gives us a little bit of content, and gives us an opportunity to reach out to you guys and to tell us, hey, listen, we already screwed up. You don't have to do it twice. You don't have to, because when you do it, it's just an instant replay of when we did it, and we don't need to see that again. So we're trying to give you the advice on how not to do things and how not to make the mistakes we made. So please keep tuning in every Monday and Thursday. There is always going to be a great story or a life lesson or some dumb thing we did that you definitely don't want to do.
Yeah, even if that's open up your relationship and let other guys smash your girl.
Bill, geez, Jones, have you known somebody who did this?
Johnny, I've been the dude that smashes the women once they open up their
How did I know?
I've been on the other side of that. So and some of that's from my experiences off of Bumble. And if the man and the woman in the relationship both agree to the terms of it and they're fine with that, who am I to judge? Really? Do I think it's a little weird he's in the next bedroom?
I'll never understand it, yeah.
When he's in the next bedroom while I'm smashing her out? Probably. It's a little weird, but it's what they agreed to. So what do I care? So they're pretty much, I don't know.
Hey, whatever.
That's why I can sit here and make these jokes, because I've been the dude that smashes your girl before. But gentlemen, I got to tell you, I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. You don't have to worry about me smashing your girl. I even actively ask women if they have anybody in their life now, which is something I didn't do in the past because I didn't really care about y'all then. But I'm a better man now, and I do care about you, and I won't smash your girl.
And next week, we'll talk about the connection between swingers and pineapples.
All right, Johnny. If we got anything else we want to say tonight, we're going to be back Thursday night with our Bumble show.
Yeah, because Bill's not getting ink done this time on his armpits.
What's that, Johnny?
Because this time Bill's not getting ink done on his armpits again.
Oh, man, that hurts so bad.
Dude.
Yeah. So he
sends me a text. I'm half asleep. He sends me a text. He goes, I didn't know I was getting my armpits done. And I'm like, all right, I'm half asleep. Do I want to open this message? But he's talking about getting a tattoo, and he's talking about it getting to his armpits. And I'm like, yeah, I have to see this.
It got to it. Look, yeah, like I don't really like this. It's healing up nice, but like, man, I got a phenomenal tattoo artist, man. Like I really do. Dominic Rossi, he's just fucking great. But yeah, nice. He was back there in my armpit doing that. So, but it looks amazing. Everything he does with me, I'm just so grateful and appreciative to have those appointments with him. And sometimes, Johnny, I got to schedule them, a month and a half, 2 months out so I can afford them. And
by the way, guys, if you like the bicep that Dominic got the tattoo upon, check out the Johnny Dumbbell page on YouTube. I've got body weight workouts. I've got some arm workouts, chest, back, everything you can think of. If there's something you want to learn about and you don't see on there, shoot me a DM, shoot me a comment on one of the videos. I will see it, and I will respond.
That's what's up. All right, Johnny, let's go ahead and wrap this up, and we will be back Thursday night at 9:35 p.m., and we are going to bring out the ladies and break down the profiles for you guys and show you the subtleties and nuances that you need to learn to successfully navigate online dating. Take it from somebody who is very successful at it.
That's right, guys. Now remember, as always, if you drink, don't drive. And if you drive, don't park, because accidents cause people. Good night.